and welcome back to another Warhammer video. You may know me from my videos in the past about video games and stuff, but today we're gonna be making a Legions of the Damned Imperial Knight. So this boy's gonna be all fiery. So I started with a black airbrush primer, as like this one, Mr. Finishing Surfacer 1500 Black. I've found that it works really well. I used it for my orc army too, from the Armageddon. But yeah. I'm just going to start with a coal black base coat. Just because this is the closest color that I can find that I can possibly get to the primer, because I really like the color of the primer for a Legions of the Damned Imperial Knight. So I'm just going to retrieve one of my sponges. I have loads of them. Here we go. Then I'm just going to use this to get a majority of the model, just because there's a decent amount of color variation. So now, when I'm using sponges, I like to just put the color on my paper towel so that I don't waste space on my wet palette, because it winds up taking up a lot of space once you dab it off and whatnot. So speed up this part. Okay, the bottom's good. So now I'm gonna have to rinse this off. I'm gonna cut this bit out just because it might take a little while. Okay, I'm back. So now that we have that base coat, I'm gonna start with the face, just because I don't really want to do the flames right this second. Oh yeah, and I've practiced freehand flames, and they look about like this. So they're pretty decent. Gonna get red oxide for this. Okay, so now that we have the first coat, we're just gonna wait for it to dry. We're gonna put a second coat on it. So we're probably gonna have to do even a third coat. But yeah. Even after a first coat, once it dries, like with some colors it may look solid and good enough, but if you put one or two more coats on it, it's gonna look way better. At the end. We aren't going to do that quite yet. Okay, so for this I am using let's see, the Fine Touch brand, I think. But you can just find these at Hobby Lobby. Just your local hobby store. You can find them at Michael's probably. I don't know, I haven't been to Michael's in a while. Okay. So, I'm gonna have to go grab bright ivory sugar. So, you have a couple of options. You start with the darkest and then paint over it with lighter colors. You start with the mid-tone, then you paint in the shadows, then you paint in the highlights. Or you can put in base coat of the brightest color, then just paint in the darker colors. I prefer to start with the darkest color, especially when I'm using a black base coat, just because it has better coverage, typically. Especially when I'm doing a near white color. For that to dry, then I'm gonna put a second coat over it just so that it's not super dark. Now, just gonna do a second coat. Sorry if I had it like this last time. I'm still adjusting to the whole video thing. Silly me, I forgot to turn on my light. Which I'm gonna put like right here just so that it doesn't the phone shadow in the way. Well, we can touch that bit up. I forgot. Okay. Just gonna rinse out my brush. Then I'm gonna go with the first highlight as tan flesh. So that's good for tan flesh. Most of the colors I'll be using today are Pro Acryl. Because I have a massive wall of Pro Acryl paints. No joke, I have so many. I also have a whole crap load of speed paints, but I prefer not to use speed paints all the time. Just because I prefer manually highlighting and going through all this painstaking work for a decent looking model. So no. Okay. So now I'm gonna need to fast forward through this, but now I'm gonna have to do the highlights of the black before I do any of that fire stuff, because I really do not want to have to work around the fire and maybe even ruin it. So that's probably gonna be the last thing I do. Dry brush. So now, I like to use a dry brush palette. So next I'm going to use neutral gray. So I'm going to do a much lighter coverage, because if I don't, reset. Sorry again if you can't see what I'm doing, because it's not on camera. 'Cause like I said, I'm still really getting used to... Well, this is my first video on mini painting, so... Okay. So, now that I have that done, well, number one, I'm gonna close up my paint bottle before I spill it. But number two, let's move on to some gold. Rich gold. I like to do my highlights with, oh. It's one of those mixer balls stuck in the cap. There really isn't too much to this guy until we get onto the flames. Well, at least this top half. There's plenty to his legs and his weapons and whatnot. I may or may not make this into like a 2 or 3 part series, but you know, we'll see. So I'm gonna do another coat on his face. Okay, so now that I have that bit done, I'm gonna do the emblem on it. Now, this guy, he is a huge pain to build, and he's expensive. He's nearly $200. So I had to save up my pennies for this guy. I was selling 3D printed fidgets. They didn't sell too well, but before that, I was saving up for a bow and arrow, and I was selling these cute little hair tie dinosaurs. They sold really well. is gonna be so much video to edit. Okay. So now I'm gonna add some bronze to these pipes, I think. I'm honestly not sure what they are. Oh god, I hate these seals. They never peel off cleanly. Shove your thumb in. I actually really like to use sprue bits. To peel these out. Okay. So I'm using Pro-Acryl Dark Bronze for this. Okay, so when I do this, I really like to take from the cap since it always pulls up paint after you shake it. But it doesn't pull up paint when there's a sealed for your protection seal. Ah, crap. Paint spawn point. That point is not now. Probably just gonna put a black wash on it because that's the closest I have to Nolan oil. I wish I had Nolan oil because I love Nolan oil. Wow, I said that a lot. Try saying Nolan oil 10 times fast. Dear God, I still have the other half. So just gonna make some of these things bronze. This stuff isn't gonna be bronze. I'm planning on having, honestly, I don't know. So, listen guys, if this isn't lore accurate, let me know in the comments, but, because I would love to know whether or not I'm just not super big into lore. But, the thing that I do know is that there aren't actually Space Marine chapter affiliated Imperial Knights. Well, there are, but there aren't. They don't have their own chapters. Well, they do, but they're separate from Space Marine chapters. So I would love to know if the robots, so if these Imperial Knights are robots and just like they have minds of their own and whatever, or if they're controlled by people. I could look it up, but I'm using my phone to record right now, so gonna have to look that up after the video. Silver, like silver, Pro Krill Silver, to edge highlight these beams. pretty darn good enough. Okay. Okay, so now that his organs are relatively done, we are gonna do some of the fire. On his shoulder. Now, I'm gonna bring out the palette. But I'm gonna start with red oxide. Ah. So now I'm gonna thin this down. Now this is just going to be the first coat. So I'm not sure if I've pointed this out yet, but I've made this fire, so I'm pretty decent. I'll also have a link in the description for the short that I'll make from this. Actually, I'm gonna toss that crappy synthetic brush. How do you even pronounce this? Fumui? I don't know. But I'm using a size 3 Kolinsky sable brush. Here's the base. Next, I'm still going to use wood outside, which won't be watered down. One thing to note, when you're making freehand flames, and you mess up the red, and you think, oh, I can just add on to it, then if you are looking for perfect, you're just going to be adding on. You can also just subtract. You can also just use black paint and subtract from it. Then you may be thinking, you just told me to not add on to it because I thought it was good, and then you just added on to it. That's just because I thought it needed to be bigger. I like my flames to be big. So then I'm gonna go to pretty sure I use Fiery Vermilion. I could use a wet palette, I just don't really feel like setting it up right now because I am sort of on a time crunch. use Procreal Orange. First, I'm gonna wait for it to dry, but fries. We're gonna use Citadel Dorn Yellow. You could also use Pro Acryl Ice Yellow, but I don't have that paint. That's left is, let's see, some coal black. If I can open it, there we go. Very bottom. Okay, now that should be it for this video. definitely be making this a multiple part series because this took a long time, and it's gonna definitely be a multiple part series. Yeah, I think that fire looks pretty darn good. Yeah, please like and subscribe. It would help the channel out a bunch. It would also make my day. So, yeah, like, subscribe, leave a comment. Have a great day.